Greetings. I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about property crimes at a more local level and talk about some that I'm familiar with in the community where I live, and also to ask you to think about property crimes that are committed in your community or in specific areas within your community, and some of those changes that have occurred over time, and some of the interventions and explanations for these crimes. One thing we've been having in my community are skimmers, and these are credit card or bank card skimmers or readers that are inserted over the ATM machine or the gas pump credit card device, or they could be used in restaurants when they slide your card. Someone's collecting that data, and so those are a problem. I'm familiar with a couple at local banks and gas stations, and I don't know if they're being used at restaurants or not. Also, we're having a problem with theft from unlocked cars, and so of course the solution there is to lock one's car, but people are opening the doors and rummaging around and taking items: sunglasses, change, checkbooks, computers, GPS devices, whatever might be of value there. Also, sometimes people leave their computer cases or purses or other valuables in the back seat or in the front of their car in the passenger seat, and then someone will use a device to break the window rapidly and take whatever they want from that car. When I walk in my community, I often see people leave their briefcases, their purses, and other valuables just on the passenger seat, and my fear, of course, is that those are targets for theft. Also, I see in restaurants and coffee houses, people leave their cell phones lying around. Sometimes they leave their purses or computer bags or computers lying around while they go outside to take a phone call or they go to the restroom. Several times I've been asked by complete strangers to watch their bags or computers while they went to make a call on their cell phone or to use the restroom. The other day, I called a bank to find out some information about opening up an account and moving to that bank from my current bank. And the first thing they asked me was for my Social Security number. And that kind of wrapped up that discussion. I just wanted to know what they had to offer and their service charges and things of that nature. I don't know why they'd want my Social Security number. Likewise, not too long ago, I noticed on my bank statement that I wrote a check for $50 and it cleared, and then they cleared it again. So for that $50 check, the bank had taken $100 out of our account. And I called the bank right away and I said, look, this check number XYZ for $50 is shown twice, and $50 is taken out of our account twice. What's the deal? And they said, oh, we can fix that. That's just a computer error. And I thought, well, a computer error? Maybe so, but the strange thing is, it seems like, at least my experience has been, most billing errors are in favor of the institution or the store, not the customer or consumer. And certainly they fixed it right away, and so that was a computer error. But if that had occurred and I didn't know, then would it be theft? And some would argue no, because I was given access to the statement and I should have noticed it. Some of the other things I've seen, sometimes I excuse me, I hear people talking about confidential information in in restaurants or in coffee houses. Also, I've seen cases of fake or people trying to convince homeowners that they must have certain repairs done, or or else they will be in trouble. Also, I've heard of a few reports of fraudulent charities calling and trying to collect money. Um, Another problem, of course, which is throughout the United States, is burglary. People breaking into homes or apartments and stealing stuff. Um, and then, of course, computer crime, whether it involves social media, email hacks, phishing, whatever the case might be. I probably get at least, I'd say, one fraudulent email that's probably, trying to grab my address book or some other information from my computer, or download a virus, whatever the case might be. Probably at least once a day, it seems, I'm deleting those. And the other thing too is now we see that people will hack social media into it, and then will try to pretend that they're someone's friend and ask for some money because they're in dire straits and a serious need for money right away. A colleague of mine got his email hacked, and then I got an email from him saying that he was in England and his passport was stolen, and he needed $200 to borrow so he could get his passport replaced and come back to the States. And I immediately called his number, and he was actually sitting at home in Florida, relaxing, and I told him, oh, your email got hacked, and of course that email message went out to his whole address book. So there's lots of different situations that we need to be aware of. As far as privacy is concerned and how that may or may not relate to different crimes in the future, that's a whole nother topic in itself, but certainly a surveillance society is relevant to think about. All right, that's probably mail theft, package theft, bait and switch, expired food, things of that nature, and so the list could go on and on and on, but I just wanted to provide some brief examples there. One thing, though, on the positive note is that in many of these cases that I've looked at, law enforcement intervened rapidly, and in some of these cases actually made rapid arrests of the perpetrators. So even though the people engaging in these crimes, the perpetrators, are getting more sophisticated, the criminal justice system and law enforcement is really doing an excellent job keeping up with the sophistication and the strategies and techniques. And many law enforcement agencies have community policing officers that offer all kinds of workshops and seminars on preventing identification theft, protecting yourself online, and protecting your home or apartment, protecting your automobile. A lot of very useful information as well. And this wraps up this video.